One of the key things that came out of today related to the pension story here in the UK. We have a triple lock pension system here in the UK. It is indexed to inflation. Inflation is rising very sharply, as we saw today. The new Chancellor, he wouldn't commit to that triple lock continuing, but the Prime Minister, she committed to it. Are they on the same page?
Clearly not, and that's what's so embarrassing. We also had the Foreign Secretary James Cleverly on the airwaves this morning, seemingly briefing that it was an under threat measure. The newspapers this morning clearly thought it was under threat, and so by committing to the triple lock at Prime Minister's questions, Liz Truss has made a fool out of one of her top ministers and the newspaper editors. Why on earth you would want to do that at a time like this, I don't know, but she's also made an even harder job for Jeremy Hunt when he needs to balance the books, find £40 billion to plug this hole in the public finances. It raises the question, are benefits going to rise in line with inflation? He's said that he's going to protect the most vulnerable through this cost of living crisis. It means if he has to do that as well, he's got to find spending cuts and tax rises elsewhere. So it really speaks to the chaos at the top of government.
Chaos indeed. Lizzy, I also feel like there's a lot of questions about how high taxes are really going to be for banks as well as for energy companies. And there's also, it seems like the Labour Party is going to try and call a vote on fracking as well. What else is in the mix?
Yeah, well, to take your first point, it's not just that they would be raiding banks' profits. It would come on top of the U-turn on the corporation tax freeze. And we've also got employee taxes even higher, which the UK Finance is warning could make London less competitive than, say, Frankfurt or New York. And this is a time when the Prime Minister is promising growth, growth, growth. On the fracking point, Labour has called a vote on its proposal to ban fracking. The government has said any Tory MP that doesn't vote with it any Tory MP who doesn't vote against this proposal is not a Tory MP. And therefore, if the Tories lose this vote, it's the end for Liz Truss. And it's baffling. I'm trying to work out why she would give MPs the choice between such an unpopular policy to have to take back to their constituencies and loyalty to a Prime Minister with whom most of them are currently dissatisfied. Is she desperately trying to find a creative solution on the energy crisis? Is she trying to stick two fingers up to the tofu-eating wokerati, as the Home Secretary put it yesterday, or is it just gross incompetence by the Whip's office? In any case, MPs are really, really mad.
Yes, I think that is an understatement right now. Over the road, we've got Sir John Cunliffe giving testimony to MPs. He's talking about the idea that the Treasury basically didn't brief the Bank of England. Is the Treasury and the bank now back on the same page?
Well, you would hope so, given all that Jeremy Hunt has done to undo Trussonomics and appointing such respected figures in the markets to his Council of Economic Advisers, two former Bank of England policymakers, Rupert Harrison of BlackRock, Karen Ward of JP Morgan. But this is shocking stuff from the Deputy BOE Governor John Cunliffe. He's telling the Treasury Select Committee that the bank was not properly briefed about the mini-budget beforehand, hence all the market turmoil, hence why the BOE had to intervene. And he's laying the blame not at all at Treasury officials' door, but squarely at the door of ministers. So it shows that all this lip service Kwasi Kwarteng and Liz Truss were paying to the sacrosanct nature of Bank of England independence was merely that.